Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My dear students of second year MBBS, after a short break of the holidays and also after the Eid al-Fitr, I am again going to talk about the histology of the liver. We were talking about the gastrointestinal tract and the accessories, the glands which are related with the gastrointestinal tract. Liver is one of the biggest organs in the abdominal cavity. It is the largest mass of glandular tissue in the body. हम इसे जिगर और कलेजा कहते हैं. And you know, in addition to a supply of arterial blood from the celiac trunk, it also receives major, that is 70% blood supply from the veins of the intestinal tract. It receives all the materials absorbed from the gastrointestinal tract with the exception of lipid, most of which is transported into the lymphatic system. In addition to the digested materials, the portal blood also carries to the liver various toxic substances. So I will talk about the functions of the liver later on. And liver is the largest gland of the body. Its weight is 1500 grams, that is 1.5 kilograms, and 2.5% of the total body weight. And it is present in the right hypochondrium. In the left hypochondrium was the spleen. You can see that vascular supply of the liver has got, there is an indentation on one side. When we talk about the histology of the liver is covered by a connective tissue capsule which is made up of the collagen fibers and the elastic fibers, and it is known as the capsule of the Glissons. And on one side of the liver there is an indentation which is known as the porta hepatis, or which is known as the hilum, and it receives the dual vascular supply. You can see the hepatic portal vein which brings 75% of the blood, and the other is the hepatic artery which brings 25% of the blood into the liver. Both vessels enter the liver via the porta hepatis, and you can see the porta hepatis. If we talk about the histological structure of the liver, it is made up of the stroma and the parenchyma. As all the glands have got a stroma and they have got a parenchyma. Stroma is the connective tissue, that is the capsule, the trabeculae, and the reticular network in which the parenchymatous tissues, that is the hepatocytes. What is the parenchyma of the liver? In the parenchyma of the liver we have got the liver cells which are known as the hepatocytes, and then we have got the blood vessels, and there are the bile ducts, because one of the functions of the liver is production of bile. The hepatocytes, they produce the bile. Bile is being produced in the hepatocytes. Liver stroma and consists of the connective tissue capsule of the Glissons, which sends trabeculae in the form of the septa inside to divide the substance of the gland into smaller compartments. Rather, we will talk about, if we talk about the anatomy of the liver has got the lobes. There is a right lobe and there is a left lobe, and there is a caudate and quadrate lobes. And also the liver is covered by the serous layer, that is the visceral peritoneum, and the fibrous layer is called the Glissons capsule. Trabeculae, the Glissons capsule extends into the interior of the liver as numerous branching trabeculae and septa. You can see the main substance of the liver has got these are the hepatic globules, the classical hepatic globules. I will tell you that histologically the general structure of the liver is interpreted in the form of we will find the hepatic lobule, the portal lobule, and the hepatic acinus. Three interpretations of the liver structure have been proposed. These include the hepatic lobule, the portal lobule, and the hepatic acinus. There will be a lot of reticular fibers which are supporting connective tissue of the liver, line the sinusoids, because in the hepatic lobule there are sinusoids which contain the blood which is coming from the hepatic artery and the portal vein, and the flow of the blood is centripetal, that is blood is traversing from the periphery of the hepatic lobule towards the central vein. When we see under the microscope, we will find there are roughly pentagonal or hexagonal structures which are known as the hepatic lobules, and these hepatic lobules, according to the classical concept of the liver structure, the liver substance is described to consist of numerous hepatic lobules. Each hepatic lobule is shaped roughly like a polyhedral prism, measuring about 1 millimeter in width and 2 millimeter in length. The central structure of the lobule traversing its long axis is a central vein. So there is central vein and there are radiating cords, and these radiating cords are actually these are radiating plates of hepatocytes. When we see in a three-dimensional picture, you will find that these radiations or these radiating cords are nothing but these are the plates of hepatocytes. The hepatocytes are just like the single brick wall. They are located, and in between these hepatic plates there are the blood vessels which are known as the hepatic sinusoids. These plates of hepatocytes radiate from the central vein to the perimeter of the lobule. The plates are 1 cell thick and are separated from each other by the hepatic sinusoids. जब हम लाइट माइक्रोस्कोप के नीचे देखते हैं क्रॉस सेक्शन में हेपेटिक लोब्यूल्स हमें हेक्सागोनल या पेंटागोनल नज़र आते हैं, लेकिन इन द ह्यूमन बीइंग these hepatic lobules are not very well demarcated. Rather, these are roughly oval in outline. But in the case of the lower animals like the camels and other mammals, you will find a hexagonal, that is, it is clearly demarcated, surrounded by a thick connective tissue capsule. When we talk about the liver parenchyma is organized as thousands of small hepatic lobules. Structural unit of the liver is called hepatic lobule, roughly hexagonal arrangement of irregular plates or cords of hepatocytes radiating outward from a central vein. You can see this is the diagram. This is the central vein and these are the radiating cords. These are the radiating cords made up of the hepatocytes, and in between these radiating plates you can see the blood vessels which are the sinusoids, and at the periphery of this hexagonal hepatic lobule there is a area where we will find three structures, and because we find these three structures we call these areas the portal triads. And these portal triads, they are 3 to 6, and these 3 to 6 areas being associated with each lobule with branches of afferent blood vessels, that is the portal vein and the hepatic artery, situated at the periphery of the hepatic lobule, and the efferent vessel, that is the central vein. इस पिक्चर से ये बात क्लियर हो रही है कि ये हेपेटिक आर्टरी है, ये पोर्टल वेन है, एंड दिस इज़ द ब्रांच ऑफ द बाइल डक्ट, एंड दीज थ्री स्ट्रक्चर्स आर प्रेजेंट इन अ कनेक्टिव टिश्यू lying here at the periphery of the hepatic lobule, and these two vessels, that is the portal vein and the hepatic artery. These are the afferent vessels, and they brings blood, and this blood is then traversing towards the central vein. Central vein is the branch of the hepatic vein. So the flow of the blood is centripetal. You can see the blood is flowing from the periphery towards the center, while the flow of the bile is reverse as compared to the blood. The bile is flowing from the center towards the periphery, that is centrifugal. You can see these green in color areas, these are the bile canaliculi. The bile flows in narrow channels called bile canaliculi, which are located between the adjacent hepatocytes. These bile canaliculi are simply spaces between. These are not the bile canaliculi are not lined by the epithelium. Rather, the bile canaliculi are actually they are formed by the cell wall of the adjacent hepatocytes. They have grooves, and then they oppose each other. There will be the formation of a groove. These grooves become the canaliculi, and these canaliculi contain the bile. Bile is flowing from the center towards the periphery into the branch of the bile duct in the portal triad or the portal area. Now, this is the concept of the liver lobule. You can see there are three. I have told you that there are three interpretations of the parenchymatous tissue or the histological structure of the liver. There is a classical hepatic lobule, there is a term called the portal lobule, and there is a hepatic acinus of Rappaport. You can see in this diagram, this is the hepatic lobule, which is a classical area and is hexagonal or pentagonal, surrounded by connective tissue, and this is actually the area which is being drained by the central vein, which is present in the center of this lobule. And there are radiating cords. You can see the radiating cords, which are the hepatic plates actually. And if we talk about the portal lobule is the interpretation of the liver structure, and it is based exclusively on its exocrine function, that is the production of the bile. The portal lobule has its center a portal area and consists of tissues draining bile into the bile duct of that portal area. Can you see this triangular area? This triangular area, which has got its three corners, there are the bile ducts. Such a lobule is triangular in cross section, contains parts of three adjoining hepatic lobules, and a central vein is present at the periphery at each of its three corners. And if we talk about this pyramidal shaped or this diamond shaped structure, this structure is called the hepatic acinus of Rappaport. This is another way of subdividing the liver tissue into functional units. A hepatic acinus of Rappaport is the area of liver parenchyma which surrounds a terminal branch of a portal vein. These are the terminal branches of the portal vein. Such an area appears diamond-shaped in cross-section and is situated in adjacent areas of two different classical hepatic lobules. One central vein is located at each of the two. This is the central vein and this is the central vein. So on both sides of this diamond-shaped area, we have got two central veins. And in between, this is actually the area which is actually supplied by these distributing branches of the portal vein and the hepatic artery. This is the microscopic picture. You can see the central vein, this area which is surrounded by this yellow colored dotted line gives rise to the classical liver lobule. which is roughly pentagonal. You can see the portal triads on different corners. At rather 6 corners of this liver lobule we have got the portal triads with surrounding connective tissue. So this is the microscopic picture of the liver when we see under the microscope. This is the central vein, and you can see from the central vein there are radiating cords of these are the hepatocytes, and in between the hepatocytes you can see the spaces. These spaces are actually the sinusoids. Now you can see under the microscope the portal lobule is seen like this triangular area. On all the 3 corners of this triangular area you can see the central veins, and this is actually the area which is drained by a single bile duct which is present in the center of this triangular area. So this is according to the exocrine function of the liver. Diamond shaped areas of the liver parenchyma, they are known as the hepatic acini of Rappaport. They form the structural and metabolic functions of the liver. Numerous branches arise at right angle. Let's talk about the liver cells, that is the hepatocytes. It is a large cuboidal or polyhedral epithelial cell with large round central nucleus, and there is an eosinophilic cytoplasm which is very rich in mitochondria. All the organelles, you can see this is a hepatic cell. This is a hepatic cell or the hepatocyte, and you can see these cells are hexagonal in shape, and the liver cells, they have got 6 or more surfaces and a diameter of about 20 to 30 microns. Each cell usually has a single spherical nucleus. Some binucleate cells are also present. When we see under the electron microscope, the cytoplasm of hepatocyte is seen to contain the usual cell organelles. Mitochondria are much more and numerous and scattered throughout the cytoplasm. Golgi apparatus can be seen near the nucleus. Both the smooth and rough endoplasmic reticulum are present. There are peroxisomes and lysosomes which are abundant in the cytoplasm. Also contain a large number of glycogen granules and fat droplets. But in routine histological preparation, these substances are washed out, leaving empty spaces in the cytoplasm. Within a liver plate, the lateral surfaces of hepatocyte are related to blood sinusoids, while the remaining surfaces are closely applied to the adjacent liver cells. Wherever 2 hepatocytes come in close contact, they generally delimit artibular space between them, which is known as a bile canaliculi. As I have already told you, the microvilli protrude from the plasma lemma of the hepatocytes into the lumen of the bile canaliculi, just to increase the surface area and secreting a lot of bile into the bile canaliculi. On each side of the canaliculus, the liver cells are firmly bound to each other by tight junctions. These junctions isolate the lumen of the bile canaliculus and prevent escape of bile. Bile canaliculi range from 0.5 to 1.5 micron in diameter and form a network of minute channels within the plates of the hepatocytes. Adjacent to a blood sinusoid, the surface of a hepatocyte is separated from the wall of the sinusoid by a narrow space that contains very fine reticular fibers and blood plasma. This space is called perisinusoidal. This is the perisinusoidal space. You can appreciate the perisinusoidal space. This is also known as the space of Dicey. The plasma membrane covering the sinusoidal surface of the hepatocyte shows long microvilli which project into the perisinusoidal space. Let's talk about the functions of the liver. As I have told that this is the big organ in the body, and this is the biggest gland, that is 1.5 kilograms in weight. It has got digestive and metabolic functions. The synthesis and secretion of bile. bile is being produced in the hepatocytes and secreted by the bile canaliculi through the bile ductules and the branches of the bile duct, and these bile ductules, they join together to gives rise to the major right and left hepatic ducts. These right and left hepatic ducts join together to give rise to the common hepatic duct, and then common hepatic duct along with the cystic duct, it enters in. The functions of the liver are digestive and metabolic. The synthesis and secretion of bile. I have told you that bile is being produced in the hepatocytes, and through the bile canaliculi, the bile is running centrifugally, and it is then entering into the portal triads in the branch of the bile duct. The storage of glycogen and lipid reserves, another function of the liver. It also maintains the normal blood glucose, amino acids and fatty acid concentration. There is synthesis and release of cholesterol, which is bound to transport the proteins. Inactivation of the toxins. The portal vein, along with the all the nutrients from the gastrointestinal tract, it also brings the toxic substances into the liver, the poisons and the drugs which are being metabolized in the liver. The storage of iron reserves, another function of the liver, and there is storage of fat soluble vitamins. The non-digestive functions of the liver are synthesis of plasma proteins. A lot of plasma proteins is being produced. That's why in the liver disease there is decreased plasma proteins levels in the blood. Then synthesis of clotting factors, very important function. All the clotting factors are being produced, and so sometimes in the cirrhosis of the liver or in the fibrosis of the liver, there is blood dyscrasias, there is bleeding disorders, and then synthesis of the inactive angiotensinogen, phagocytosis of damaged red blood cells, storage of blood is again it is one of the functions of the liver. Then breakdown of circulating hormones like the insulin and epinephrine, inactivation of lipid soluble drugs, this is also one of the functions. What is the portal triad? Portal triads, also called portal areas or the portal canals, these are located at the corners of the liver lobules. Each portal area contains 3, hence the term portal triad, more or less conspicuous tubular structures, all wrapped together in connective tissue. There is a branch of the bile duct, there is a branch of the portal vein, that is interlobular vein, and there is a branch of the hepatic artery, that is interlobular artery. You can see the hepatic artery, bile duct and the portal vein. Sinusoidal capillaries. The hepatic sinusoids are the extensive sponge work between the plates of the hepatic cells. These sinusoids have an incomplete basal lamina. These are actually the dilated capillaries. We have talked about the capillaries, and these dilated capillaries were present also in the spleen. The sinusoids have an incomplete basal lamina, and they are lined by 2 types of cells. There are endothelial cells showing fenestrae. There are fenestrated endothelial cells, that there are pores in the wall of the endothelial cells, and these pores are not closed by the diaphragms as in the case of the other fenestrated capillaries. And also there are intercellular gaps, and there is a discontinuous basal lamina also. The Kupffer cells, these are the cells which are found on the luminal surface of the endothelial cells. These cells have larger and paler nuclei, and they show the branching processes. Kupffer cells are actively phagocytic, so belong to MPS, mononuclear phagocyte system, and their cytoplasm frequently contains the engulfed and degenerated red blood cells. There are pigment granules and iron containing granules. So these are the cords of the hepatocytes, and in between the cords of the hepatocytes you can see the area. This is the sinusoid. These are the blood vessels lined by the endothelial cells, which have got the gaps in between. And can you see in between the cell membrane of the hepatocyte and the endothelial lining of the sinusoid, we have got this space of Deci. The perisinusoidal space, or the space of Deci, it contains the microvilli of the hepatocytes. This is the hepatocyte wall of this sinusoidal perisinusoidal space. On one side has got the hepatocytes, and the hepatocytes, this domain of the hepatocytes, this have got the microvilli. They are entering into the space of Deci just to increase the surface area. And then we have got the blood plasma present here in the space of Deci, and there are processes of the Kupffer cells also. There are adipose cells present, commonly called Ito cells. These are very important cells. They are located between some hepatocytes. These cells have been shown to be the primary storage site for vitamin A. They also can produce connective tissue fibers in the large amount in the process of the cirrhosis of the liver. In the fetal liver, the space between the blood vessels and the hepatocytes contains islands of blood forming cells. Ito cells, you can see an Ito cell. These are the lipid inclusions. This is the sinusoid. Blood circulation through the liver. Blood supply of the liver is highly vascularized and receives blood via the portal vein and hepatic artery. दो इसकी branches हैं, afferent artery, hepatic artery और portal vein की शक्ल में, both of which constitutes afferent vessels of the organ. The efferent vessels are the hepatic veins which drain into the inferior vena cava. The liver is highly vascularized and receives blood via the portal vein and hepatic artery, both of which constitute afferent vessels of the organ. तो चुनांचे दो ब्लड वेसल्स के ज़रिए ब्लड जो है वो दाखिल होता है लिवर में. पोर्टल वेन जो है वो तमाम गैस्ट्रोइंटेस्टाइनल ट्रैक में 75% ब्लड लेके पोर्टा हेपेटिस के ज़रिए दाखिल होती है, और हेपेटिक आर्टरी में 25% ब्लड होता है, ऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड. तो दोनों ब्लड जो हैं वो दाखिल होते हैं थ्रू दी पोर्टा हेपेटिस. The efferent vessels are the hepatic veins which drain into the inferior vena cava. Portal vein conducts a large quantity of venous blood to the liver, that is 70% or 75%. After entering the liver through the porta hepatis, this vein divides into large interlobar branches. These branches divide further and gives rise to the interlobular branches that run in the portal canals as one of the three components of the portal triad. As I have already discussed, these interlobular branches of the portal vein give rise to distributing veins which run around the periphery of the lobule. From these distributing veins arise small terminal inlet venules which drain directly into the hepatic sinusoid. In the sinusoids, the blood flows centripetally towards the central vein. These central veins then they unite together to give rise to the sublobular veins, and these sublobular veins gradually converge and fuse to form two or more hepatic veins that drain into the inferior vena cava. As regards the hepatic artery, it brings arterial blood to the liver. This vessel enters through the porta hepatis and divides repeatedly to form the interlobular arteries that run in the portal canals. Interlobular arteries gives rise to two sets of arterioles. One of these sets empties directly into the hepatic sinusoids, and arterioles of the other set break into the capillaries that supply the interlobular connective tissue of the portal canals and finally drain into the interlobular branches of the portal vein. This is, you can see, this is the portal vein and this is the hepatic artery, and the blood is entering from the portal vein through these blood sinusoids. In between these hepatic plates there are spaces called the blood sinusoids, and blood is flowing towards the central vein. And also the hepatic artery which has got the arterial blood, it is also mixing with the blood from the portal vein in the sinusoids and entering into the central vein. As regards the lymphatic drainage of the liver, no lymphatic capillaries are found in the hepatic lobule itself. However, the lymph is formed from the fluid in the space of Deci, from where it passes into the lymphatic vessels which originate blindly in the connective tissue of the portal canals. These lymphatic vessels communicate with the lymphatic vessels of the capsule, and ultimately large lymphatic vessels leave the liver through porta hepatis.